Good afternoon, faculty, staff, students, alumni, community partners, family, friends, and most importantly, the class of 2021. Welcome to the 29th Annual Rites of Passage Ceremony at Rutgers University, New Brunswick. My name is Jacora Holman Thompson, and I proudly serve as the director of the Paul Robeson Cultural Center, and I am incredibly honored to be here with you to celebrate and honor the academic accomplishments of Black and Latinx-identified graduating seniors at Rutgers University, New Brunswick. The theme of this year's virtual ceremony is #Black Minds Matter, celebrating resilience and supporting excellence that resides within the community. As our guests and speakers come together today, our goal is to celebrate education, empowerment, and the promotion of self-care and the success of graduates. Today's ceremony celebrates the tenacity and strength that you have shown as a community during the global health pandemic brought upon us by COVID-19. And so many more things that we've dealt with over the past year. Your resilience is evident and a precedent for those who follow behind you. This year's class is truly the quarantine class, dealing with the experience of having a full year of virtual instructions. But you made it, we're here, and you're graduating, and we could not be prouder. While we are not with you in person, your support network is here with you, and that includes distinguished faculty and academic deans, the leadership of the Division of Student Affairs, senior university leaders, including our New Brunswick Chancellor, Christopher Malloy, and our University President, Jonathan Holloway, who will be providing remarks today. We all came together to congratulate you on your accomplishments, affirm you in your contributions, and inspire you in your pursuits. We weren't sure what this year would bring, but I can tell you that we're extremely happy for our students, their family, and their friends because we're able to celebrate rites of passage today. Because we know that this day is as much a celebration for your family and friends as it is for you as graduates. We know the sacrifice many of your family and friends have made to help get you to this moment. No matter what your college experience has been, I am a firm believer that college truly does change your life. The college journey can be met with many hurdles, challenges, and roadblocks that often we cannot withstand alone. And so as you graduate and complete this journey, make sure to pay homage to your support system, your cheerleaders, and those that have been there for you along the way, because it truly takes a village. As we reflect on the we, let us always remember the community that has formed among you during your time with us, the community you brought with you and returned to, as well as the communities you will move into as you commence this new chapter of your life. And I would also add the communities that you maintained and sustained throughout this unique year of virtual instruction. I would like to take a moment to thank the team from the Paul Robeson Cultural Center, Ms. Yolanda Grant, Mr. Philip Chambers, and our graduate students, Mr. Jarrell Saunders Didymus and Mrs. Alexis Anderson, and all of our student staff. Without the staff and the support of everyone, it would have not been possible to bring to you today's ceremony. In the spirit of community, it is my pleasure to introduce the Liberated Gospel Choir, who will be singing Lift Every Voice, which is known as the Black National Anthem, followed by Professor William Davis from the Department of Africana Studies, who will be sharing a libation, which is a tribute to our ancestors. Thank you, and look forward to an amazing rites of passage.
taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, Thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, Thou who hast by Thy might led us into the light. Keep us forever in the path we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places our God where we met Thee. Lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget Thee. Shadow beneath Thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land. Our land.
Congratulations to the class of 2021. It's an honor and a privilege to have the opportunity to participate in the Rites of Passage Ceremony. My name is Professor Davis. I have the privilege of doing a libation, but I would first like to extend my sincere condolences to anyone in the community who may have loved ones who were impacted by the pandemic. My profound condolences to anyone in the community that's been affected. Sadly, people of African ancestry in the Latinx community have been disproportionately impacted. When I do rites of passage, we pay tribute to our ancestors. And some of you may be paying tribute to ancestors in your family. But I'd like to start with Brother Imhotep. Brother Imhotep was the first true genius ever to grace the planet. The brother lived 5,000 years ago, and sometimes we forget how ancient our history really is. And so when we do libation, we use water, and we use a plant. I'm going to ask you to say the word Ashe. In Brother Imhotep's name, can we say Ashe? There were warrior queens at that time. Hatshepsut was the first woman to serve as a pharaoh. Queen Nefertari, Queen Nefertiti, Queen T. In their names can we say Ashe. There's been a historical misunderstanding about the role of slavery. And we constantly think about the fact that we somehow collaborated in order for our ancestors to be enslaved. But we fought slavery. We were captured on the interior of Africa and marched hundreds of miles to the slave dungeons. We fought in the slave dungeons. We fought on the slave ships. There are millions of Africans at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean whose names we don't know. In their name can we say Ashe. But I think about Queen Nzinga. I think about Harriet Tubman. And I think about Frederick Douglass and Nat Turner, whose names we do remember are people who actively resisted slavery. In their names can we say Ashe. I also want to think about some medical people that have contributed to our advancement, that have helped us to be able to endure through some of the challenges that we have. The first African-American person that had a doctor that had an MD was Rebecca Crumpler. She was actually working with our sisters and brothers at the end of slavery in the Freedmen's Bureau. I want to think about the first Latinx person, Carlos Finlay, who helped to address the issue of yellow fever. And so we have a long history of making contributions. Dr. Charles Drew, who did blood transfusions. We have a long history of contributing things in the medical community. So the circumstances we face now, we have been some of the people who helped to correct it. In their names can we say, Ashe. I have the privilege of being an educator. So whenever I do libation, I always call Brother W.E.B. Du Bois, one of our profound scholars and activists. And some of you may not know this, but W.E.B. Du Bois and our greatest alumnus, Brother Paul Robeson, worked together. And so in their names can we say, Ashe. But I'm thinking of Simone Bolivar. I'm thinking of Tito Puente. I'm thinking of Celia Cruz. I'm thinking of all the different folks from the Latin community who have also, because sometimes we forget that when the slave ships left Africa, they went to Central America, South America, throughout the Caribbean. And so our diaspora consists of people from the Latin community, the African community, all over the world. In their names can we say, Ashe. But I think of Brother Bob Marley, and I think of Marcus Garvey, and I think of Fela. I think of Kwame Nkrumah, Sekou Touré, some of the Africans who helped to liberate us from the colonization of the Europeans. In their names can we say, Ashe. But it would be not correct to do this libation not call Brother George Floyd, or Breonna Taylor, or Makai, or the young 13-year-old Latin brother that was just killed in Chicago. And I want us to think about the words of Sister Maya Angelou, that we are the hope and the dream of the slave, and we will rise, rise, rise. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Congratulations, class of 21. Keep up the great work. Peace and power.
Hello, everyone. On behalf of the Division of Student Affairs, I'm delighted to welcome you to the 2021 Rites of Passage Ceremony. Rites of Passage is a culminating experience that celebrates our commitment to inclusion and seeks to affirm you and your unique experience as Black and Latinx graduates to be of Rutgers University. We gather today virtually because of the vision that the founder of the Rites of Passage, Dr. Juanita Jones Daly, had 28 years ago for a gathering that would celebrate your academic and personal success. The continuation of this wonderful gathering would not be possible if not for the leadership of Jacora Holman, director of the Paul Robeson Cultural Center, and Dr. Carlos Fernandez, the director of the Center for Latino Arts and Culture. As you enter the next phase of your life as a Rutgers alumnus, I encourage you to consider supporting both the PRCC and the CLAC. Consider giving back to Rutgers, the university community that supported your development and your growth during your time on the banks. I also encourage you to support both affiliated alumni associations, the Rutgers African American Alumni Alliance and the Latino Alumni Associations of Rutgers University. Today we celebrate your excellence as scholars and resilience as students. The same excellence and resilience that you exhibited during your time at Rutgers will continue to serve you well as you go on to make the world a better place. I leave you with the following quote by the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. Congratulations and all the best going forward. Thank you.
Congrats, class of 2021. We did it. We out here in a pandemic. I really just want to actually give this video to all who've been a part of my life and part of my journey as a college student, even prior to steps of Rutgers, because it was a difficult journey coming from the perspective of a first-generation college student when imposter syndrome can really get to the best of you and it dims your light and it really makes you feel like Black excellence. But I'm here to tell you that you can be excellent and be Black, blackity Black, be you, celebrate your successes, and that you are worth every inch of opportunities and success that comes. And take it from me as from my experience. Coming from a low-income background, family, I never let my situation or my family life really get to the best of me or define me. Therefore, the last thing that I want to say again, and I truly emphasize this, congratulations, and keep moving forward. Keep taking those leap of faiths, and never let anybody dim your light. Keep shining, excellent, and celebrating that every day.
Rites of Passage recipients, family members, and loved ones, congratulations. This is a day of joy and triumph, a day to take pride in all that you've accomplished during a period that on a nationwide level has been exhausting in many ways, particularly for people of color in America. Beloved, you are brilliant. You are hardworking Rutgers students. You've proven that you have what it takes to achieve your educational goals, even during a global pandemic. You've proven that you can achieve any goal that you choose to strive for. I believe in you, and I am proud of you. This spring, Rutgers is publishing Scarlet and Black Volume 3, and the final book in the Scarlet and Black trilogy, led by our outstanding history professors, Dr. Deborah Gray White and Mauricia Fuentes. These books were written and researched by Rutgers doctoral candidates, postdoctoral fellows, and undergraduate students. They tell the story of Rutgers University's complex relationship with racism, including how the university benefited from the slave economy and from the dispossession of indigenous Americans from their land. The newest volume tells the story of the Black and Brown Revolution on campus and how Black, Latinx, and other students at Rutgers and nationwide held protests and demonstrations during the 1960s and 70s and pushed American higher education to serve and represent those who had previously been underserved and underrepresented. And though that process was arduous, long, fraught with risk, they succeeded. Their efforts helped to change Rutgers. The Scarlet and Black trilogy shows how our university, from its origins steeped in white supremacy, has become an exemplar of diversity, equity, and inclusion that President Obama celebrated during his 2016 commencement speech. The 44th President of the United States called Rutgers an intellectual melting pot that might just be America's most diverse student body, that mirrors the evolution of America, the course by which we become bigger, stronger, and richer, and more dynamic, and a more inclusive nation. My point is, change is possible when we demand it. Rites of Passage honorees, let us make this the year in which we find ways to demand more and better from our society, for ourselves, for the next generation, and for our elders. A more just world for you and me is a more just world for everyone. And everyone who values freedom, justice, and human dignity will benefit. Thank you and congratulations.
I just want to give a quick shout out to my family, my mom, my dad, and my sister for their unconditional love and support that they've given me these past 4 years. I love you guys, and I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you for allowing me to join you on this occasion. I wish I could be doing this in person so I could see all the beauty and accomplishments and excellence in one room on a firsthand basis. This year's theme is Black Minds Matter, celebrating resilience and supporting the excellence that resides within the community. In order to address that theme, I want to tell a story from about 25 years ago when I was teaching in my first job after graduate school. I was then at UC San Diego teaching in the Department of Ethnic Studies. And every Friday, I would go down to the Ethnic Studies Center and sit in a room that was called the Campus Black Forum, that meeting. That meeting every Friday afternoon was a place to gather and reflect and support one another. This is undergrads, grad students, professional students, staff and faculty. Think of it like group therapy. On this one particular Friday, a first-year student who was a regular in the group showed up, and she was always full of life and energy, but not today. On that day, she was clearly down in the dumps, lost in thought, just not herself. And Clifford, a senior, saw that her energy was off and engaged from like, what's going on? That was the nature of the Campus Black Forum. We shared, we helped one another. She was quiet for a few beats and then she finally told her story. She was a biology major, which at UC San Diego was about 2,000 people, huge classes. And she was taking organic chemistry, which meant that 3 days a week, she walked into a large amphitheater and found a seat, getting ready to take notes. This is a room of 300 other students, none of whom looked like her. And so she would walk down the steps of that amphitheater 3 times a week and feel all the eyes in the room look at her, the only Black student. And she felt that they were wondering, what is she doing here? Is she in the wrong space? Does she belong? And she internalized that, and it made her not want to pursue her dream of medical school. Clifford, the young man the senior who had elicited this story from her, listened carefully and got quiet with his own thoughts. Now, before I share the rest of the story, you need to know something about Clifford. This was a young man who was put together all the time. He was always wearing basketball gear or workout gear, but everything matched perfectly, from his headband to his wristbands, color coordinated all the way down to his Air Jordans. Anyway, Clifford was being quiet after he heard that story. And he told the young lady, you know, I'm a bio major. I know that class. And I know what it's like to walk into that room and find your seat. And every time they looked at me, I had a different thought. I thought, goodness, I must look particularly fine today. We all busted out laughing, but there was this kind of a sadness in that laughter because we knew Clifford wasn't fooled. He knew that they weren't looking at him because he was particularly fine, and he was, but that wasn't why they were looking at him. People were trying to sort out, just like they were trying to sort out for that young woman, did she belong there? Clifford got that, but Clifford refused to allow those people to write his narrative. He decided that he was particularly fine and that they were the lucky ones to have him in their midst. So I share this story, different university, 25 years ago, but the phenomenon persists. It's a story about belonging, about declaring that you belong, about claiming your space, and about not letting others tell your story. So my friends, I don't know about all of your different experiences at Rutgers. I hope you overwhelmingly had positive ones, but I'm sure you had some tough ones as well. But as you go out into the world, I hope that you know that everyone here this afternoon knows that you are excellent, that you are accomplished. They know that you have persevered, and they know that you look particularly fine today, just as you do every day. Own your narrative, write that narrative, have other people read that narrative of your excellence. You have earned it. You deserve it. And everybody around you is lucky to have you in their lives. Congratulations to all of you. Go out and do amazing things. Take care.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shannon N. Teller, and I'm a graduating student from the Rutgers School of Social Work, Camden campus. Let me start off by saying it is both an honor and a privilege to participate in the 29th annual Rites of Passage celebration. It is my opinion that this celebration acknowledges the trials, tribulations, and challenges impacting the African American student body. This year has really been challenging. We face challenges not only as students pursuing our educational goals during COVID-19, but as individuals who identify as African American. Your resilience, I acknowledge today. So my sister, so my brother, continue to be resilient today, tomorrow, and in all your future endeavors. We are Rutgers, we are resilient, and we are living our ancestors' wildest dreams. We are Black, and our lives and our success matters. Keep that in mind. Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon. My name is Carlos Fernandez, and I have the pleasure of introducing our student speaker for this afternoon. His name is Ezenesie Eze. Eze is a class of 2021 graduate from the Rutgers Business School, majoring in business analytics and information technology with a minor in computer science. In his free time, he enjoys writing, fashion, photography, and music. As his parents immigrated to the U.S. in 1985, Eze is a first-generation Nigerian American. His journey began as a transfer student from Rutgers, Newark, when he joined the New Brunswick School of Engineering. After coming to New Brunswick, he became a brother of the Delta Iota chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, joining names such as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Frederick Douglass, and Paul Robeson. He since became the vice president of the Rutgers Black Student Union, interned at Colgate Oral Pharmaceuticals, and has accepted a full-time offer to work at Accenture, a global technology and management consulting firm in their New York City office. Let's welcome Eze.
Greetings, friends, family, faculty, staff, alumni, and the illustrious class of 2021. The day is yours. Wherever you are now, make some noise. You made it. We made it. As our voices of freedom echo in my head, I can't help but recall some words that stuck with me throughout my journey. Uttered by Harvard University graduate Donovan Livingston. Education, then, beyond all other devices of human origin, is a great equalizer of the conditions of man. Horace Mann, 1848. At the time of these remarks, I couldn't read, I couldn't write. Any attempt of me to do so, punishable by death. For generations, we have known of knowledge's infinite power, yet somehow we've never questioned the keeper of the keys, the guardians of information. For some, the only difference between a classroom and a plantation is time. How many times must we be made to feel like quotas? Like tokens and coined phrases, diversity, inclusion. There are days I feel like one, like only, like a lonely blossom in a briar patch of broken promises. But hey, I've always been a thorn in the side of injustice. Talkative, disruptive, a distraction, with a passion that transcends the confines of my consciousness. Beyond your curriculum and beyond your standards, I stand here, a manifestation of love and pain. With veins pumping revolution, I am the strange fruit that grew too ripe for the poplar tree. I am the dream act, dream deferred, incarnate. I am a movement, an amalgam of memories America would care to forget. My past alone won't allow me to sit still, so my body, like my mind, cannot be contained. As educators, rather than raising your voices over the rustling of our chains, unencumbered by the lumbering weight of poverty and privilege, policy and ignorance, uncuff us. I assure you that our stories are ladders that make it easier for us all to touch the stars. So climb and grab them. Keep climbing and grab them. Spill your emotions in the Big Dipper and pour out your soul. Light up the world with your luminous allure. To educate requires Galileo-like patience. Today, when I look my peers in the eyes, all I see are constellations. If you can take the time to connect the dots, you can plot the true shape of their genius, shining in their darkest hour. I look my fellow graduates in the eyes and see the same light that align Orion's belt and the pyramids of Giza. I see the same twinkle that guided Harriet to freedom I see them. Beneath their mask and mischief exists an authentic frustration, an enslavement to your standardized assessments. At the core, none of us were meant to be common. We were born to be comets, darting across space and time, leaving our mark as we crash into every single thing. A crater is a reminder that something amazing happened here. An indelible impact that shook up the world. An injustice. An injustice is telling them that they are stars without acknowledging the night that surrounds them. An injustice is telling them that education is the key while you continue to change the locks. Education is no equalizer. It is the sleep that precedes the American dream. So wake up, class of 2021, and lift your voices. Lift your voices until you've patched every hole in a child's broken sky. Wake up every student so they know their celestial potential. I myself have been a black hole in the classroom for far too long, absorbing everything without allowing my light to escape. But those days are gone. I belong among the stars. So do you, and so do they. Together, we can inspire galaxies of greatness for generations to come. No, graduates, the sky is not the limit. It is only the beginning. So lift off.
Class of 2021, let's go! I see you. My name is Philip Chambers, and I'm the Assistant Director for the Paul Robeson Cultural Center. It's my honor and privilege to stand before you today in virtual community for this 29th annual Rites of Passage Ceremony. It's also my honor and privilege to introduce our student performer. I want everyone to meet Rachel Entry Bosiaco. She also goes by Rachel the Poet. She's graduating with her bachelor's in biological sciences with a minor in psychology. She has truly enjoyed her time here at Rutgers University, New Brunswick, and owes it to the black and brown spaces that she would find herself surrounded by. Here is her video showing that appreciation.
I'm really thankful for this black space. First time in a long time I really embraced my race. Tales from an awkward black girl giving face. Stories about my truth no one can erase. This, that, needs black gums, black. Can't wait to tell my kids about black Rutgers flashbacks. Snapping Insta stories, replace the Kodaks. Our culture's so live. Even with percentages being low, we will still thrive. Prove it's in our group, me, you'll see. Everyone wants to be black. Everyone wants to reap the benefits, but we all know not everyone can handle that. This space has no filter, you know we keep it real. Shout out the PRCC for the free meals, but really thank you for the opportunities to allow us to grow. So many black clubs really embrace my flow. I am a Paul Robeson scholarship recipient, and now a Black Rutgers alum here to represent. I learned, unlearned, relearned that blackness is not look one way, act one way. To be honest, I'm still learning what it means to be black every day. Dear Black Rutgers, thank you for showcasing what it means to be black and African American. Checking out this box is so much more than they come us to be. And our roots are so dope, and that's where to the phylogeny tree. We're there. Class of 2021, stand up. Peace and love from yours truly, Rachel.
Greetings from the Rutgers African American Alumni Alliance. We are delighted to gather with you here today in celebrating the 2021 Rites of Passage. This past academic year has been one filled with challenges. It's also been filled with things that we missed. We missed the Whistle Caribbean Day. We missed the Dominican Students Carnival. We missed the Twesse Fashion Show. But it has also been filled with the fact that you have accomplished. You have still found ways to volunteer in the community and make change. Many of you participated in the protests that saw change occurring in the justice system, and many of you continue to forge ahead. In fact, that's the greatest gift that you can give to our society. We are about to transform the world, and the world is being transformed because of you. As you move forward, please continue to hold these values near and close. Find something to volunteer so that you can continue changing the world. Find an issue that you can take a stand on. And most of all, remember the people around you. We are part of a beloved community. We are building a beloved community. And you're the ones who will see that the truth of a beloved community will go forward. We are also here today to celebrate the RAAA Graduate Rites of Passage Scholarship. I'm delighted to announce that Miss Leonella Smith, a School of Environmental and Biological Sciences scholar, is this year's recipient. She is a landscape architecture major, and in fact she's going on to complete the 5-year dual program, which will end up with her having a master's in landscape architecture. We are so proud of her. She's been an active participant in a number of student organizations such as LSAMP, the EOF program, as well as several other on-campus groups. She is an example of how students from the Black and Latinx community are going out in many places, transforming the world and making a better future for us all. Once again, congratulations to you all, and most of all, congratulations to Leonella Smith. Thank you. Good day.
Greetings, Rutgers University class of 2021. Oh, how I wish I could see your beautiful faces right now. Thank you to the administration of Rutgers University, Paul Robeson Cultural Center, for making the 29th Rites of Passage program possible. I consider it an honor to have the opportunity to speak a few words of inspiration to this phenomenal graduating class. We have all lived in the midst of a most dramatic and for many traumatic time, and I have been inspired by the strength and resiliency of our people and of our Rutgers community. We are organizers, advocates, activists, and allies. We have stood together, we have cried together, we have worked together, and we have witnessed history together. Our world moves so fast. In times past, it would take so long to see the needle of justice move, but we have seen in this last year the power of our impact in elections, in the justice system, and even in our everyday interactions. We're not done, because we know that there is much more work to do. But it's important to take a moment to reflect, celebrate, regroup, and re-engage. It will take all of us doing our part to make a difference in every sphere that we find ourselves in. You are equipped to be powerfully influential, so please use your power to continue this good fight. As a woman of faith in Jesus Christ, I rely on my beliefs and values for courage, strength, and direction. That's what's worked for me, and I encourage you to find who works for you. So, in closing, I want to bless you. And by the way, blessing means empowered to prosper and positioned to succeed. And I am choosing words from the book of wisdom, Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7, which states, "Wisdom is the principal thing. So get wisdom. And in all of your getting, get understanding." Trust me, wisdom is what you're going to need to navigate this reality. And I have no doubt that you, after graduation, will emerge more fierce, more tenacious, and more cognizant of the value of life and the value of love. So please stand for the charge. I state your name, promise to dedicate my life to preserving our past, uplifting the present, and securing our future. I will preserve the past by educating myself, my children, and society about the greatness of our story. I will uplift the present by utilizing my talents to improve the next generation and assisting them in their struggle, which is ultimately our struggle. I dedicate myself to these goals as I commence on my new journey. Congratulations, Rutgers University class of 2021. God bless you.
To our Black and Latinx-identifying graduates of 2021, congratulations on achieving a milestone that will help launch your future careers. To the family members and loved ones who are proudly celebrating with you today, and to our dedicated faculty and staff who helped you on your journey, thank you for encouraging these Rutgers scholars and supporting them as they work toward this important goal. I would like to acknowledge what a challenging year this has been. The fact that you have made it this far speaks to your grit, fortitude, and dedication, and your embodiment of our Knight's Call values of being authentic, inclusive, responsible, engaged, and above all, resilient. In this academic year, we witnessed the twin devastations of a global pandemic and the ongoing nationwide crisis of violence against people of color. But amid these causes for sorrow and outrage, 2021 has also been marked by important victories for Black and Latinx Americans, and for other people of color, and other members of historically marginalized identities. During today's Rites of Passage ceremony, in which we honor the legacy of Paul Robeson, the scholar, athlete, actor, singer, and global activist who graduated from Rutgers 102 years ago, we should take stock of a few of these national achievements. We saw Kamala Harris sworn in as the first Black and South Asian person and the first woman to serve as Vice President of the United States. The 117th U.S. Congress includes 57 Black representatives and 54 Latinx representatives, both record numbers. The current administration has promised the most diverse cabinet in history, including Deb Haaland, the United States' first Native American cabinet secretary. And each of you has achieved and will continue to build on your own feats of scholastic and professional excellence. Many of you, like me, are the first in your families to attend college. And like me, you know full well how life-changing this achievement is. As you move into your post-graduation lives, and I hope find ways to bring us all closer to the goal of living in a truly just society, free from racial disparities, remember that Rutgers, New Brunswick will always be a part of you. We will always value each of you as important members of our beloved community. Rites of Passage honorees, I wish each of you great success in all your endeavors. Congratulations and thank you.
Asad Abdul Hamid. Evelyn Acevedo. Thedalisa Akep. Beatrice J. Adams. Mike Adarkwa. Funmilayo Ademoji. Adedoyan Adetunji. Johan Agudelo. Alejandra Aguilar. Sabathina Ajay. Michelle Amma Ajamai Amwakom. Michaela Amy. Diane Akasike. Olawumi Akinmade. Melissa Aldave. Samuel Almodovar. Jimena Alvarado. Marvin Alvarez. Zulika Aminu. Faith Oluwabunmi Amorin. Brittany Andrade. Anne Andre. Ava Dawn Anibogu. Rachel Antwi Busiako. Kayori Apollon. Milagros Araujo. Alejandra Arboleda. Dana Arevalo. Kayla Renee Arias. Chimampam Arangwa. Adinike Ashimuwu. Alexander Au. Lilana Austin. Kimberlyn Avendaño. Jonathan Mateo Aviv. Kofi Awa. Tamia Baez. Jasmine Gladys Bagner. Emma Bedo. Ann Baker. Hunter Ashley Banks. Chelsea Jessica Barton. Patricia Batista. Justin Batson. Dania Bautista. Rebecca Bediaco. Dominique Bennett. Natasha Kayla Bermudez. Diana Christelle Berrios. Veronica Valencia Beto. Ashley Binns. Jasmine Bishop. Beverly Boateng. Kayla Bonner. Camille Branch. Timori Brennan. Yazelle Breton. Ciasia Brown. Kendall Bryan. Isaiah Bryant. Rochelle Bueno. Taj Jamir Burnett. Autumn Denise Byfield. Stephen Caguana. Laura Camacho. Olivia Campbell. Courtney Campbell. Raphael Candamill. Michael Christopher Cantatori. Alexander Cardoza. David Carmona Avila. Mackay Carroll. Eric Castro. Christian Sendejas. Lori Ann Marie Chambliss. Chinwendu Chukwu. Vanessa Cineas. Drew Amber Clark. Azana Sherelle Clemmings. Charette C. Collier. Sydney Brianna Collins. Danielle Collins. Mohammed Conde. Carol Contreras. Nicole Coria. Carlos Coronado Guzman. Eurelis Cortez. Javon Craig. Kabira Crawford. Ashley Caitlin Crawley. Paul Henry Crosby Jr. Stephanie Cuellar. Oluwatosin Dada. Olukemi Dada. Nanette Donde. Marley Darcelin. Kimberly Darkea. Asada Cupid Davis. Asia Davis. Jasmine Davis. Dante Della Pava. Giselle Vanessa Del Cid. Jeffrey Delva. Kai Dennis. Deja Anaya Dennis. Mariama Diallo. Mackenzie Renee Dixon. Joan Doliska. Luis Dominguez. Harvey Wayne Drayton Jr. Jessica Dufort. Arlene Dukes. Dave Dukes. Malembe Dumont Copero. Elisha Olivia Eanes. Theodora Ecocha. Tiana Ameria Elishan. Kayla Nicole Erazo. Nicolas Escalante. Vanessa Espin. Maria Espinosa. Eric Esqueda. Alexis Etz. Timonit Eob. Eza Nezia Eza. Ogechukwu Chiamaka Eze. Alyssa Farley. Juliana Felix. Lori Michelle Ferreras. Edgar Francisco Ferrer Gonzalez. Lucia Firbas Torres. Naya Fisher. Benjamin Flavius. Kaylee Flores. Jessica Paula Flores. Chanel Ashley Foster. Jeffrey Folks. Khadija Yasmin Freeman. Lily Fung. Altashia Gaines. Jabinka Ivana Gallardo Petkovic. Milica Gallardo Petkovic. Sierra Gamble. Marina Garcia. Marjorie J. Garcia Sanchez. Christopher Xavier Garrick. Luis David Gasca Quintero. Ronald Gibson. Sarah Gilliams. Kyra Glover. Katerin Marisol Gomez. Ervik Gondor. Lizeth Gonzalez Galindo. Catherine Carmen Granja. Jada Green. Coran Green. Timber Griffin. Veronica Guardado. Melissa Gutierrez. Joanny Guzman. Brianna Hansen. Heather Harris. Amber Haynes. Anabel Hernandez. Kayla Elisa Hernandez. Jose Hernandez Morales. Vanessa Herrera. Pamela Herrera. Naomi Hiraldo. Tashay Hodges. Daisy Hoffman. Amber Holman. Justin Holness. Osaru Wense Idi Mudia. Joanne Igbanosu. Favor Imomo. Obehi Isesala. Yvette Israel. Nigeria Jackson. Chelsea Jackson Jones. Simone Alexandra Jarvis. Nicole Jimenez. Danielle Johnson. Miles Johnson. Zayala Johnson Jones. Crystal Joseph. Naomi Josephs. Justice Jubilee. Fatima Karamoko. Razia Kareem. Ebony Ayasia Kendrick. Keisha Knight. Areola Kukoi. Ashley and Brittany Laidlaw. Jose Miguel La Paz Rodriguez. Nelji Loredan. Magdalena Lazovsky. Louise Lima. Sabrina Lima. Ainuktu Lumpo. Melissa Lopez. Maria Daniela Lopez. Lobita Luggis, Kimberly Machana, Boaz Marius, Malcolm Christopher Manning, Maliaka Manning, Bibiane Edine Mark, Lindsay Marin, Ashley Monet Marion, Annalise Nereida Marquesinas, Ariel Marshall, Yvette Marte, Jared Martindale, Jacqueline Martinez, Jimmy Martinez, Mary Olivier, Jewel Mays Reed, Renato Mazuelos, Kosiso Chuku Umba, Nala Y. McBride, Gail McKenzie, Brianna McLaurin, Jasmine McLaurin, Wahana Grace McMillan, Melissa Mensa, Gael Moise, Neka Moneme, Amanda Montague, Vanessa Montero, Viviana Morales, William Rafael Morales Medina, Sophia Mordan, Crystal Morin, Khadija Muhammad, Rebecca Mulwa, Priscilla Munch, Jacoya Murphy, Fatima Mousse, Justine Narvaez Villegas, Ricardo Giovanni Nava, Krista Nelson, Ogogo Notamwanta, Catherine Nyajure, Okima Kuzirem Obielor, Maya Odrick, Mudia Jubilee Obevery, David Ogbona, Olukemi Ogunruku, Ngozi Olivia Okafor, Genesis Olmedo, Anthony Olokungbemi, Lauren Mora Okendi, Akosia Nyamache Opoku Ajimai, Olise Oputa, Angelise Yvette Oramus, Andrew Oren, Brianna Ormond, Eric Osorno, Chinwe Osai, Chinelo Osai, Vanessa Owusu, Brittany Margaret Owusu Depa, Victoria Oyenea, Stephen Ozoria, Lucia Pachon Ortiz. Jordi Padilla. Sienna Padmore. Sari Pagan. Maria Paredes. James Henry Parks IV. Tavonha Patterson. Crystal Paulino. Callan Pendleton. Natalie Pereda. Leslie Ann Perez. Amanda Christina Perez. Janaya Renee Peters. Aaliyah Phillips. Summer Pierce. Ariel Pina. Naomi Popo. Kimberly Militia Posada. Delmaurice Price. Nixon Provillain. Fiorella Quesada Martinez. Juan Quesada. Ala Rahama. Kaylin Amanda Ramirez. Vida Ramirez. Evelyn Ramos. Maria Fernanda Ramos. Sharon Randall. Riley Michelle Redman. Clarissa Rimache. Kadian Resaisi. Marvin Reyes. Elvis Reyes Colon. Corey D. Rem. Amy Yadira Ribeiro. Cachet Richards. Naira Richardson. India Ridley. Yamali Rios. Cassidy Delilah Rivas. Nathaniel Robinson. Jaylene Rodriguez. Miriam Rodriguez. Brianna Elizabeth Rogers. Andrea Rojas. Layla Eunice Rosario. Cassandra Rosario. Zenaida Rosario. Brielle Lynn Ruiz. Isaiah St. Clair. Joseph Salguero. Yasmin Sanchez. Juliana Sanchez. Adesola Sani Thomas. Anthony Nicolas Santana. Karina Santos. Amber Saravia. Imara Savon. Ram Sifor. Mohammed Sharif. Kimberly Kiana Silverio Diaz. Kayla Simmons. Lazarus Simmons. Serena Simpkins. Leanna Singleton, Leonella Smith, Kevin Smith, Maya Zaire Smith Mabry, Alyssa Soto, Jennifer Suarez, Catherine Suazo, Jihan Sufian, Joy L. Suttle, Brianna Sweeney, Janelle Talaferro, Jenny Isabella Tavares, Emil Taveras, Shannon N. Taylor, Janelle Taylor, Marilyn Totle Coatley, Kyla Thomas, Alexis Thompson, Maria Tobon, Danica Ann Torres, Aaliyah Torres, Renelle Tulloch, Anina Tyler, Cristina Mariela Umansor Alvarado, John Urgiles Lorjano, Leiby Laura Valdez, Kezia Van Lair, Christopher Dante Vargas, Jadalyn Vargas Garcia, Cynthia Marie Vasquez, Claudia Vazalo, Rachel Samira Vasquez, Carla Velarde, Andrea Velasquez, Xavier Wabara, Naya Washington, Sharonda Watkis Davis, Jonathan Watson Jr., Lauren Renee Whitfield, Jamila Williams, Zaire Williams, Christina C. Wilson, Corey Waltz, Madison Worthy, Alexis Shawnee Wright, Shakaya Wright McDuffie, Jasmine Ariel Yanez, Tiana Youngblood, Carlos Zapata, Katyuska Zuniga.
Congratulations to all of the graduates. We hope that you've enjoyed this year's virtual Rites of Passage ceremony. It is a privilege for us as faculty and staff to be able to honor you in this capacity as you begin to embark on the next chapter of your journey. As we conclude, I would like to share a quote from Paul Robeson. Robeson once said, "We must realize that our future lies chiefly in our own hands." With the education that you've received at Rutgers University, it is my hope that your experience has also encouraged you to use your own power and that of your community to take charge of your future. I hope that you are able to speak truth to power and be your authentic self as you embark in the world. To use your voice and your education for what you believe and feel is right, like Robeson did. As we conclude this year's ceremony, it is now time for you to carry on his legacy as ambassadors and alums of this great university. And with the continued support from many of us here today, you will move forward with your voice and this education to be the change agents, innovative leaders, and thoughtful, critical scholars this world so desperately needs. I would be remiss not to acknowledge key members of this community who played a role in today's ceremony. This ceremony would not have been possible without the support of many individuals and departments who serve as important campus partners in the work we do at the Paul Robeson Cultural Center. First, I would like to thank and acknowledge the Office of the Chancellor for their unyielding support, to thank our divisional and campus partners, Dr. Salvador Mena in the Division of Student Affairs, Dr. Carlos Fernandez in the Center for Latino Arts and Culture, Dr. Edward Ramsamy in the Department of Africana Studies, Dr. Carlos De Sena in the Department of Latino Studies, the Dean of Students Office, Douglas Residential College, the Student Affairs Marketing Staff, the Rites of Passage Planning Committee, and the Cultural Center Collaborative for being supportive campus partners to the Paul Robeson Cultural Center. Finally, I want to show our genuine appreciation for the philanthropic contributions that made it possible for us to be able to honor students today. To all the graduates, family, and friends, congratulations again on this wonderful milestone. Now it's time to take the initial steps to start the next chapter of your journey. Move forward with your purpose and passion. You are the future, and the future is now. So embrace what's in front of you and be ready to take on your next challenge. Congratulations, Scarlet Knights. Thank you, and have a great evening.